The wicked strut about on every side when vileness is exalted among the sons of men. We're going to take a look at what happened in Washington, D.C. with these Catholic kids who have been falsely accused and were actually the victims, and now their lives are being threatened. You're not going to want to miss 1 minute of this show. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Welcome to the program, friend. If you have small children, you need to for sure not have them watch this. If you've got teens, you can make your own decision. We are going to put up on the screen tweets from some people, some of whom are famous, some of them are real players in the world of media or entertainment. But before we do that, and you're not going to believe your eyes, you're going to just say, how can we have even gotten to this place? How can this have even happened? The wicked strut about on every side when vileness is exalted among men. But before I read you these tweets, I want to set up what happened. There was a bunch of kids at the March for Life. I was at the March for Life. They were there from the Covington Catholic High School, which is an all-boys high school, and it's in Park Hills, Kentucky. Okay, very small little town. They're at the March for Life. Some black, they call themselves Hebrew Israelites. These are black activists, very racist. Even the Southern Poverty Law Center, who's a left-wing lunatic group, they say that these are not good guys, which is really funny. They came up and started hurling insults at these boys, saying things that I cannot repeat on the air, using the F word, saying that they were incest babies, just really demeaning these kids. Now, these are adult men demeaning these kids who are at the Lincoln Memorial, just part of the pro-life march. Then up walks a handful of Native Americans led by a guy named Nathan Phillips, who's a real piece of work, all right? This man is a liar. You'll see the footage for yourself. He's a piece of work. He comes up and walks up to the boys and starts beating his drum, and he singles out this one kid who is now in the news constantly, and he's beating the drum in his face. Coming up in a minute, I'm going to play a clip from NBC News, the Today Show, just to show you how out of hand this has gotten. So anyway, the kids just stand there, and the one boy doesn't move. All right, he doesn't move. He's just standing there, and the Native American's just standing this far from his face, just beating his drum. Now, I've been to protests more times than I can imagine, and pro-abort's coming up to me screaming, yelling, blowing a whistle in my face. Norma McCorvey, the Jane Roe versus Wade, did that to me in California in the early 90s, along with other people. Bullhorns in my face, screaming, yelling, threatening me, spit flying all over me. They do this. This is what they do. That's what Nathan Phillips was doing. I've been on the ground for this kind of stuff. The kids from the Covington Catholic High School were the victims here. They weren't the perpetrators, believe me. So anyway, this, I want to say his name right, the boy's name. Nick Sandmann is the person who you've seen, if you've seen any pictures, is the kid standing there smiling. He's smiling, all right? He's literally just smiling. And he said that, he was just sitting there stone-faced for a while, and then he smiled at the guy thinking, well, maybe we could, I just want him to know that I'm just here. I'm not a threat to him. Hopefully he's not one to me. These are teenage boys, okay? So the press gets a hold of this. The godless, left-wing, despicable, lying, pathetic, evil-doing media gets a hold of this. And then they contort the story and say that a bunch of white kids surrounded black people and started hurling racial chants at them. I'm not kidding. This is what they said. And that they then surrounded the Native Americans and were hurling insults at them. It never happened. So thankfully, there were cameras running the whole time and caught the whole incident. Now, I've got to take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to show you these tweets. But listen to me, friends. This is about whether or not we say the truth. The very fact that these boys were present was their crime against political correctness. The very fact that they stood there and said, we are standing for life. The very fact that they were present, they did the gall to stand there, that was their crime. And the media is so anxious to rush to paint any Trump supporters or white people as being racist, homophobic, that we're evildoers, that the wall is immoral. All of this is just a conflagration of insanity from evildoers, because when vileness is exalted among men, the wicked strut about on every side. Now, I'm going to read these tweets when we come back. I'm telling you right now, get the kids out of the room. We'll block out the words that need to be blocked out, and I won't say the words out loud. And you're going to see the level to which we've sunk and the danger that we're in and our need to stand up and prophesy the truth no matter what. This is like when Jeremiah stood up and just said the truth in front of the temple of Israel, in Solomon's temple, that he was beaten, thrown in a well, threatened with his life. That's what we're dealing with. That's the level of evil and debauchery we've gotten to. Please don't go away. I'll read these tweets when I come back. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. I'm going to read these tweets to you. Again, I recommend that any small children are not in the room. Teenagers, if you want them there, you know what developmental level your kids are at. This is just a sample of the thousands of tweets that went out condemning the children and calling for violence against the children. All right, here we go. This is from Sarah Beatty. She is a writer for Saturday Night Live. I will blank whoever manages to punch that MAGA kid in the face. And the blank is a sexual immoral act. Stormy Daniels, the hooker, the prostitute, she's a slut, all right? That's what she is. She said, I'm suddenly in favor of building a wall around Covington Catholic High School in Kentucky. And let's electrify it to keep those disgusting punks from getting loose and creating more vileness in society. When a hooker, when a vile, disgusting woman is being sought out for political advice, we're in the days of Ahab and Jezebel, okay? We're in the days of Herod and the girl doing the seductive dance that cost John the Baptist his head. Here's one from Kevin Allred. White people really are terrorists. Whiteness is terrorism. Here's one from Jack Morrissey. Go screaming, hats first, into the wood chipper. He's talking about killing them. And because they were wearing the President Trump MAGA hats. If you are a true fan of shoes, I want you to fire on any of these red hat blanks when you see them on sight. I was talking about killing kids, okay? Lock the kids in the school and burn that bee to the ground. This is from Uncle Shoes. House Shoes is the name of a DJ who's a famous DJ from the Detroit area. He works in California now and produces rap albums, okay? So this guy's a player in the entertainment world. Calling for people to shoot kids or to burn down the school. Here's another one from Uncle Shoes, again, same guy. Burn the effing school down. Here's one from Alex Kranz. From elementary school through college, I went to school with sheltered upper middle class white boys who could devastate with a smirk. a facial gesture that weaponized their privilege. Infuriatingly, you can't fight that effing smirk with a punch or words. Oh, Alex, you want to punch a 16-year-old boy because he smirked, because he smiled? Are you sick? How warped are you? Here's one from Jessica Valenti. Jessica Valenti is an American feminist writer, one of the founders of Feministing blog. She's the author of 5 books. He's a stud, she's a slut, The Purity Myth, Why Have Kids, and Sex Object, a memoir. So this is a perverse, sick, tragically wounded woman, okay? She said, I honestly haven't stopped thinking about that MAGA kid all day, in part because I think so many of us have been on the receiving end of the face he was making, a smug, untouchable, entitled F you. Here's one from Reza Aslan. He's the Muslim who's just a lying swine. That's what he is. Reza Aslan, honest question. Have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's? He's the one who had a show on CNN that was canceled because of his comments. All right? That's the people that are making these comments. Have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's? Wheeler Walker Jr. I know I have, this guy's a country western singer. Again, don't look up his stuff when there's kids around. But this guy is a pervert. He's got a video, again, no small children in the room, okay? He's got a music video of him and his kid, who's a little boy, who's about 1.5, 2 years old, and he's singing a song to the kid in the music video about how he can't wait for the kid to grow up so he can be involved with hookers and sluts. I'm telling you, this is what's in the video. That's the kind of perversion that this guy sings about. Drug use, it's mind-boggling. All right, so he says, I know I have fans in Paris Hills, Kentucky. If you know this little blank, S word, punch him in the nuts and send me the video of it, and I'll send you all my albums on vinyl autographed. Calling on people to punch the little kid. Here's one from Jerry Saltz. MAGA, the American swastika. When I come back, I'm going to read to you a statement. All right, so these are all elite people in the media entertainment world. Oh, but wait, we've got one from a U.S. congressman. You're not going to want to miss this. This is what we're dealing with, people, and we're dealing with it in part because of the refusal of good people in the ministry, pastors, priests, bishops, to do their job and to stand for righteousness and to condemn evil. All right? We have a job, we have a duty to do that. The Catholic Diocese of Covington condemned the kids and then retracted and said, oops, the March for Life condemned the kids. And then when the video came out, they were like, oh my goodness, the kids were the victims. We screwed up. That's how stupid people are becoming.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. So I wouldn't have flinched, but because these are kids, they want to shame children in high school and shame kids in college into shutting up, to betraying our faith by our silence. That's what this is about. If you hold your tongue when you should be speaking, it's a betrayal. That's what they want. They want us to betray our faith. Here's what ponder that one well. Ponder that well, my friends. It's the sins of omission, the sins of silence. that are plaguing the American church. Now, here's what Representative John Yarmouth said. He's a U.S. House member from the Louisville, Kentucky area. I am calling for a total and complete shutdown of teenagers wearing MAGA hats until we can figure out what is going on. They seem to be poisoning young minds. Now, he took a lot of heck for that, and he said, well, the conduct we saw in this video is beyond appalling, and it didn't happen in a vacuum. This is a direct result of the racist hatred displayed by the President of the United States, who sadly some mistake for a role model. Trying to backpedal. You're a loser, John. God have mercy on our souls that you are in the U.S. House of Representatives. I got to get a couple more in because in the next segment, I'm going to play to you a clip from NBC News. You're going to love this. Oh, here's one. Kathy Griffin. She's a lady who held up a decapitated head of President Trump with blood streaming all over it. She said the reply from the school was pathetic and impotent. Name these kids. I want names. Shame them. If you think these effers wouldn't dox you in a heartbeat, think again. Dox means to release all your personal information. That from Kathy Griffin, okay? Here's one. This guy's account has been deleted. He's somebody in the media world too. He said a school shooting at Covington would be acceptable. He's calling for kids to be killed. Kids who did nothing wrong, who just were standing there. All right, let me take a break. And I'm going to play the clip from NBC News when we come back, and I'm going to make a few comments. But friends, if you think that this doesn't impact you, if you think you can go and hide in a cave like the 50 prophets during Ahab and Jezebel's reign that is recorded in the book of 1 Kings, you're wrong. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com.
Do you feel from this experience that you owe anybody an apology? Do you see your own fault in any way?
As far as standing there, I had every right to do so. My position is that I was not disrespectful to Mr. Phillips. I respect him. I'd like to talk to him. I mean, in hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing. But I can't say that I'm sorry for listening to him and standing there.
This morning, 16-year-old Nick Sandmann standing by his actions in this moment gone viral. The junior at Kentucky's Covington Catholic High School, now the face of this Lincoln Memorial confrontation with Native American elder Nathan Phillips. And what's it been like to be at the center of the storm?
Well, it's weird to see your face on television. I've been reading a lot, And, you know, I've also been getting a lot of messages from people, both support and a lot of hateful things.
Sandmann and dozens of his classmates had just finished attending an anti-abortion March for Life rally when they converged with 5 Hebrew Israelites, a radical movement that is growing more militant, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center.
They started shouting a bunch of, you know, homophobic, racist, derogatory comments at us.
What kinds of things did you hear them say?
I heard them call us incest kids, bigots, racists. They called us
a bunch of incest babies, a bunch of child molesting.
Did you feel threatened at all?
I definitely felt threatened.
There were more of you than them, but you felt like they were stronger?
They were a group of adults, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen next.
It's unclear from the videos who actually started the confrontation. Each side believes it was the first to be taunted. Sandmann says his chaperone gave students permission to shout school chants, an attempt, he says, to drown out the Hebrew Israelites. Do you think it was a good idea to start chanting back at the protesters?
In hindsight, I wish we had just found another spot to wait for our buses, but at the time, being positive seemed better than letting them slander us with all of these things. So I wish we could have walked away.
Did anyone shout any insults back or any racial slurs back at the group?
We're a Catholic school, and it's not tolerated. They don't tolerate racism, and none of my classmates are racist people.
Did anyone say, build the wall?
I never heard anyone say build the wall, and I don't think I've seen it in any videos.
After a review of the videos, NBC News could not hear anyone shouting that hot-button phrase. But Nathan Phillips claims he heard the teens shout, build the wall.
All right, friend, that's the kind of nonsense that's a part of the very fabric of why our country is being destroyed, because truth is trampled underfoot. Listen, I'm going to lead by example. And if you can join me, do it. I am leaving to go up to Covington, Kentucky. 2 members of our team are coming with me. We are going to bring our cameras. We're going to get whatever interviews we can. I will be on the ground, God willing, Friday all day and Saturday morning. If you are anywhere in the area and you can join us anywhere within 2 hours drive, call the number that you see on your screen and we'll let you know exactly where we're going to be, whether it's at the school or the diocesan office. But we're going to be there to be a voice on the ground. So if the media want to talk to anybody, if the diocesan office needs to be encouraged to do the right thing and retract their condemnation, whatever. The point is that we have to run to the roar. Are you hearing me? We need to run to the roar. And we'll have footage for you on Tuesday night's program showing you what happened if you're not anywhere in the area. But if you can join us, join us. And if you can help us, please send a contribution. All right? It's going to cost us money for hotels, for food, for fuel, to drive up there. And this was not a part of our budget. This was not a part of our schedule. But I personally cannot sit by and be silent. So I'm asking you, go to our website and make a contribution online. If for any reason you don't want to give online, you can send a check. Or for some reason the button isn't working, send a contribution to the Society for Truth and Justice. P.O. Box 420, Ellendale, Tennessee. 38029. You see it right there on the screen. You see the phone number where you can call if you want to know where we are. That is one of our mobile devices for the media. So please use the number judiciously. But if you need to call and you say, Randall, I'm in the area, I want to join you, we want you with us. Okay? We're leading by example. We're standing for the truth. We're defending this boy and those other kids in this high school. And we're saying to the evil, no, we will not sit by. You know what it's like? It's almost like Jesus being falsely accused and arrested and then his apostles fleeing. Only John stood with him. We're not going to flee. We're going to run to the roar, not away from the roar. If you can run to the roar with us, please come. If you can't, but you want to be a part of the supply line, because all frontline troops need a supply line. Please be a part of our supply line. Go and give as generous a contribution as you can online or send a check. God bless you. it.